Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the NorthStar Café. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you're joining from. My name is Meenakshi Iyer, and I'm your host and the founder and principal of NorthStar Solutions and Services. And it's my absolute pleasure to have you here at the NorthStar Cafe. We meet here once every other week on Wednesdays at 11 in the morning, New York time. And today is a very special episode, and I'm absolutely excited to be here with you. And if you are joining us for the first time, and if this is the first time you're meeting me, well, my name is Meenakshi. And what I do here at NorthStar Solutions and Services is serve as a leadership coach for mid-career technology professionals. That includes women in tech and folks like myself who speak English as an additional language. I work with my clients, both as individuals and in teams, to support them in building out their own leadership and people leadership and change leadership pathways in ways that are authentic to them. And for the last 2 years, I have been curating and putting together a mentorship program called Building My Runway. And that's what we're here to talk about today. And it's particularly close to my heart, and more so today being International Women's Day. And this program was born out of an International Women's Day event, my annual conference that I co-host as part of International Women's Day celebrations. So more to come on that. But first, I want to welcome everyone that's watching us live. We are currently live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and you can join us on any of those platforms. And hop in the chat and let us know where you're joining us from and what you are most excited about to hear in today's conversation. And while we do that, I want to bring over some special guests that I have. They are mentors and mentees from the class of 2022 of Building My Runway. So here we go. Let me bring them onto the stage. Okay. Hi, Iman, Madhav, and Subha. Welcome.
Thanks, Meenakshi. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Hi, Meenakshi. Hello.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you all for taking the time to join us. I know it's different times of day for each of you. I so appreciate you making the time for this conversation. And I'd like to once again welcome all of you. And I want to share a little bit about how Building My Runway came about. And then I'd love to hear from each of you. What made you sign up for the program in your respective roles as mentees and mentors? So Building My Runway really was born out of a response to a call to action that I put out as part of the annual conference in 2021. So that was the second year of the conference, the Future of Work conference. And since 2021, I've been co-hosting it with now dear friend and collaborator Tiffany Castano, founder and CEO of Sefer LLC, which is an HR consulting firm here in the US. And what started off as a conversation during our debrief after the conference, for me, it was about looking for ways in which I could set up a mentorship program. And I thought that one way I could do that is to look for local businesses that would be interested in setting that up for themselves. And the call to action really was find someone or folks that might be looking for mentors and help them either find a mentor or be that mentor yourself. So this was the call to action that Tiffany and I had put out during the conference. And the conference was focused on International Women's Day, and the theme was the power of the perspective. And so that's how it all happened. And then one thing led to another. And I finally said, you know what, how about I do this through NorthStar? How about I pull people from within my network and see if they'll be willing to be mentors, and let's focus on mid-career women in tech. And that's how Building My Runway was born. And it's designed as a 3-month, it's a virtual program. It's a 3-month program with a combination of one-on-one mentorship and group learning, cohort-based learning. And so Even in the 2 years, it's evolved, and I'm so happy to have the class of 2022 here. Some of them with me today, and it's so far we've had within the two cohorts we've had 16 graduates of the program, and it's one of the most rewarding experiences for me with what I do at NorthStar. So it's absolutely fantastic that we are here today and on International Women's Day to talk some more about this. So with that, I would love to invite you, Iman, to share with us what made you sign up for the program.
Well, actually, the first time that I came across to the post in LinkedIn, I was really inspired by the idea that this program it's designed for women. It's the first time that I find something designed for women in mid-career, tech mid-career, where we can meet experienced mentors that can help us in order to enhance our skills and to reach what we want. That was really inspiring to me, and also that the idea that I will meet women all over the world with different background, different culture, but we are all sharing maybe the same concerns, the same obstacles, and we are all trying to come across those obstacles. So it was this the main motivation for me to join the program.
That's fantastic, Iman. Thank you for sharing. And before I go on to the mentors, could you also tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sure. So I am an agile coach. So I started, basically, I am an engineer. So I started as a developer and then I moved to the project management, Scrum Master, and then agile coach. So overall, I have 8 years of experience. And I worked in Morocco, I worked in France as well. Basically, I work more with banks in the financial sector. So I can say that I'm an agilist, enthusiastic, and resourceful and detail-oriented person. And I really want to, to level up my career.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Iman. And your experience and what you brought to the table. It was absolutely inspiring, and we all know the number of things you're juggling, and you still are, and you still
Absolutely.
continue to juggle. Yeah. So you,
Yeah, I still.
yeah, yeah.
It's on a daily basis. So I can say that sometimes women they are doing brilliant things without notice it. So
Mm,
sometimes we have this imposter syndrome. We do not give credit to ourselves. We do not take credit. So all the time it's just by chance, and it's not something that I did it by myself. But yeah, I absolutely today we celebrate the International Women Day, and I will just want to congratulate all the women all over the world for the hard work that they are doing, especially the moms. So you are managing personal life and professional life simultaneously, and it's not something easy to do.
yes, spot on.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And I know Madhav here was one of your mentors that worked with you. So I'd like to pull you in, Madhav. And I know Madhav, you have been part of this program, part of the North Star journey right from the beginning, even before that. So it's my absolute joy to have you here today. And I'd love to hear from you. Why did you say yes, not once but twice?
Thanks, Meenakshi. The first time, I think it can be, you can call it a mistake, but second time it was not a mistake. Yeah, you were deliberate. So the first time when you asked me to be part of this program, I said, okay, Meenakshi, as a friend, let me just help her through, and that was how it. But when I really noticed that the effort you spent on pairing the mentors and mentees, and it's really impressive to observe the level of the details you're getting to match to individuals who are complete strangers, first of all, and then you have the confidence that this partnership will work out. So that's what said, okay, let me do it the second time. I mean, like, I really enjoyed. The first time was a different experience, and second time I said, let me see what is there. The whole prospect of engaging with some complete stranger and approaching the situation with a completely open mind is something very incredible. So that's how I said, okay, let me do it. And in fact, I'm looking forward to do the third time also.
You're saying it on a public forum, and this is being recorded, just as a
Oh,
reminder.
absolutely. Yeah. So it's a
I
two-way
just want to
flow.
add that
Yes.
I'm really grateful, Madhav, that you said yes for the second time, because you were my mentor, and I'm really grateful for all the work that you did with me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome, Iman. I mean, to be honest, it was a learning two-way. I mean, with you juggling the way you did manage the things, I think it was a lot of learning for me. There are certain things which I had taken granted. I would say for the International Women's Day, hats off to I salute all the women in the world. So, and rightly said that the mothers, the working mothers, it's how you manage the home and the work. It's magic. I mean, I don't know how you do it, but I just cannot do it. I cannot even think of the way of doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I love how you pointed out that the learning was two-way, Madhav, and that is something that I was really hoping for as an outcome, because mentorship, and there's a quote, if I could remember correctly, it says mentorship changes two lives, and it's both the mentee and the mentors. And I have had the privilege of being in formal and in informal mentorship relationships, and I think that they were some of the most rewarding experiences for me and for my mentor as well. And so I was hoping that we would be able to share some of the same experience in this program as well. And since you talked about the matching process, yes, I do want to say that this time, the second time around for the class of 2022, we did use Dreamy as our platform to run mentorship. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Ashima Sharma, the CEO and founder of Dreamy, with the amazing work she's doing with Dreamy, which is essentially technology enabled mentorship and career development. Really, it's not just a platform to just do mentorship, but also help democratize career development and make it accessible to everyone. And so that part, and I remember being in conversations with Ashima when we were setting it up to say, hey, I want the matching to be manual, and I'm going to do that. And then she made that possible for us. And and you're absolutely right. The process for this is there's a form, there's an application form, and there are some intentional questions that are in the application form. And that's really my only window to the applicant to understand what are they looking for and why are they interested in this. And I also always make it clear that the selection process is about matching. It is not about did I qualify or not. Who am I to judge the applicants? For me, it is more important about do I have someone in the mentors pool that can really support this individual with what they're looking for. And so even if there are people that don't get selected, in the spirit of inclusion, I make sure that they are part of the group learning programs, the cohort-based learning. So we always do that. And so I'm glad you called out the pairing process, because yes, it is deeply personal. And again, it knowing the mentors, and all the mentors, I know them personally one way or another. Some of you, like Subha, I have yet to meet in person, but that's no bother at all. And so knowing the mentors personally gives me that advantage of saying, okay, I think this is a match that's going to work. But in terms of confidence that this is going to work or not? Well, if I appear confident, great. Because I'm watching it to see, okay, what's happening and, is it working or not? Because the mentees always have the option to say, well, this is not working and I need a different mentor. And I'm always prepared for that. So, and so far, I will say that the feedback I've received as well from all the participants and, I mean, both mentors and mentees, is that the matching seems to work. So I know for sure that that's one thing I'm going to retain for the future as well. So thank you for sharing that, Madhav. And yeah, you're on for the third time, so stay tuned. I'd love to bring you in, Subha. This was your first time, and I know we met just, I don't know, a year and a half or so ago. I don't even recall. We met on some coaches group online, and then we've stayed in touch. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, and also why did you say yes to the program?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Meenakshi. First of all, happy Women's Day to International Women's Day to everyone here. In our forum as well, the audience who are watching it, live right now. So why did I take part, right? So before talking about why did I take part, in a quick intro about me. So I am Subha Lakshmi Narasimhan. You can call me Subha. I'm the founder director of SLN Brand Studio LLP. I'm an executive coach. I've been supporting the organizations to build their leadership pool, right? Which are high performance leadership pool by coaching the leaders in the organizations. Of course, I also do take in individuals as my clients, right? So that's what I do. When it comes to my clients, there are three different areas majorly I focus on. One is their career growth, which is critical for them, as a leader, and then the second is workplace conflict. Yeah, it can happen in many shapes and forms and colors. So I help them navigate through workplace conflict so that they can sustainably grow. And then the third part is self-management, the emotional, me part of it, right? So I help them to navigate through emotions so that they can cherish their journey, their leadership journey, also take their team ahead in their, in the organization. This is a little bit about me. Meenakshi, here I would like to, take your permission to give a little bit background to why did I choose to be a part of building My Runway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I see, I think it was around 2012, 13, right? I was like growing as an entrepreneur without realizing that I'm becoming one, right? So I had built something. I had a strong portfolio, with me. That's when, many women who are like my friends, cousins, friends, sort of, right? So everybody started approaching me. Okay, Subha, you are doing something. Can you help me do something? Either they have a break in their career, or they have not worked at all because immediately after their graduation or something they got married, and then they had a child, or all other different reasons. Some they had taken their journey, but because of personal reasons they had to take a break. Many stories there, but everybody wanted to do something, right? Then I used to give them some suggestions, advices. At that point of time I was writing a lot, content, building content, and also I brought somebody on board with me, collaborating with me, give them, used to give them some projects and all. See, that's how it was going, right? But at one point of time, I started feeling like, okay, fine, you know what? I'm spending a lot of time here. But if, say, for example, if I'm spending my time and effort with 10, women who have approached me, hardly one or two are taking the next step, right? So I started feeling like, okay, what is going wrong? Somewhere I am putting in effort, but I'm not receiving it back, right? So that's when I could see that, okay, it's not just about me giving, also my capability to assess what exactly they need. And first of all, they need something or not, right? Assessing the requirement properly. So that's when I think around 2015, it took some 2-3 years for me to kind of understand what is happening. To 2015, I launched a program called Women Contentment Program from my brand, SLN Brand Studio. Since then, I have been consciously, of course, there are clients who approach me and then we are working, right? Apart from that, I have been consciously contributing my time as my pro bono hours every year to some organization. I have been a part of Lean and a couple of other organizations, right? Even there, I started seeing those challenges, right? There is a connection happened. Yeah, the mentee mentor connection happened. I log in wait. Mentee doesn't turn up. Right? Then I get a message. Sometimes I get a message, sometimes I don't even get a message.
Right.
Right? So I was kind of in that stage, started, um, being careful about what I'm, committing for, or what I'm getting myself into.
Hmm.
Right? I think that's when we started, just talking, right?
Yes.
Actually, it was like a casual talk. One day we just started talking. Then I think that is the time you had your first graduation done, or something related to that was happening. Right?
I think
And then
so. I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
so then our intersections, that conversation we had
Yeah.
on YouTube Live. And I have been anyway, watching you as a part of Star in Me. I've seen you, putting up a lot of posts and all of this stuff. I've been watching you. Right? So that's when I remember the minute you spoke about coming up with the second cohort. I was about to ask you, what? Let me be a part of it. Then you were like, no, it was like, we both were trying to propose to each other. Right? So,
Those are some of the best matches.
absolutely. So, how could I say no to something when I know that, okay, it is serious? It's not a joke, it is a serious
Hmm.
business we are talking.
Hmm.
Right? I know that how you are going to, hand picking the mentors as well, mentees. I know that at that point of time itself, I knew that, okay, the time that I'm going to invest here, it's going to really, really help somebody.
Hmm.
Right? That
That
confidence.
means a lot. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sabha. And this is why, the program has been successful. And for me, scaling is never a part of the equation. It is always about impact. And so when we started, so in fact, the first year we launched, we had 11 pairs, 11 mentees paired with one-on-one with 11 mentors. And this year we had five folks in the program, in the cohort. And so we pivoted and we did an experiment where we paired every mentee with two mentors. And that was, and I think here Ashima is on, and she's joining us. Thank you for being here, Ashima. So that was the other puzzle that Ashima helped us solve using Dreamy. So this was an experiment, and the other piece of it is also that all of us mentors, mentees, and myself, we create a very transparent, inclusive space, and so everybody knew that okay, there's going to be a few bumps, and we're going to work it out. Um, and to your point about uh, how people use the time and this opportunity, I think you make a great point, Subha, and that's something as the creator and the curator of the program that's something I'm very mindful of. The mentor's time, because all of you volunteer your time. And this is the first time that we did have the mentees pay a fee to help us cover some admin costs, the use of tech and things like that, because we also bring in some guest speakers and stuff like that. But otherwise, this is not. Uh, this is nothing. This is not a financial or revenue earning venture at all, right? So, the fact that mentors volunteer their time, that's something that's always at top of mind for me. And we've been very lucky to find that the mentees who sign up, and I think it's because they sign up of their own free will, they want to do this. We have seen successful partnerships between mentors and mentees. So I'm so glad you brought that up. And I know that Nima, I know you had a last minute thing and you couldn't join us today, but want to do a shout out to you. And I know one of the things you had shared, and you were paired with Subha. So I want to share something that Nima had shared in her feedback. So one of the things she said, things that she learned during this whole program, the 3-month program, she says she learned a lot about self-promotion. She actually has been able to create her own personal elevator pitch. And one of her top win in the program is feeling connected again with the corporate world and ready to join it back, because Nima is coming back from being an entrepreneur. So she used to work full time, then she went into entrepreneurship, and now she's coming back to work. And this was so to hear that she felt that she was ready and that she felt reconnected with the corporate world, it was just so heartwarming to hear that. And speaking of matching, that's the reason I matched her with you, Subha, because you've had that experience. You moved from India to the US, and you went back and you've had all of this experience. So that's why I matched her with you, and one other mentor. But that's the matching secret sauce that happens in the background. Yeah, and and on the same note with Madhav and Iman, it was one of the goals, Iman, you had stated was you wanted to set up your own practice and start building that out. And I know that Madhav is almost a serial entrepreneur, and he's had the same experience. He comes with the same kind of similar background in uh, process and process improvement space, from the process improvement space and ways of working. So that's the connection points, if you will. So it's lovely to hear how what made each of you apply or say yes to be part of the program. And again, once again, I just wanted to welcome anyone that's joining us live right now. Thank you for your time, and everyone that will watch us watch the recording. So this is a special event at the NorthStar Café where we are talking to some of the participants of the class of 2022 of Building My Runway, which is a virtual 3-month mentorship program for mid-career women in tech. So I wanted to ask you, the next question was, and then again, I'm going to start with you, Iman. What were like the top 1 or 2 highlights of your experience with the program?
Yeah, before that I answer to your question, I just want to say that this program, it's really incredible. It's wonderful because it's the first time that you are connected to mentors, and even if that are really experimented, and maybe they were in the same place where I am today. That's why you have talked about the match. And also, even if I try to do it with a company to have a mentor, I will pay the amount will be very, very expensive, and I think that the output will not be as I got from the Building My Runway class. So I really want to mention this, that it's volunteer, it's something without any financial investment on the mentee side. And I really wanted to thank you, Meenakshi, for this program, and of course the mentors for their availability.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
to answer to your question, I will say the first thing is that I was able to clear my vision, to have a clear vision of what I want to do, and the why I want to get there, and why I want to do this. And this, I think it's very important to have a clear vision, and it's thanks to Madav and to Suda as well, my mentors. I was able to clear and to have a clear vision. And once you have a clear vision, it's easy for you to put in place the goals, and to put in place, I mean, to split, I mean, the journey into small chunks, and keep it on track until you reach your vision. So I think this is very, very important to me. The other thing is that I stop procrastinating, and I start working, because each time I say, okay, I have the personal stuff, my work, and on the other hand, so I don't have enough time. So I was all the time finding to myself some excuses. When I start, I mean, the mentoring session with Madav and Suda as well, I took the decision that there is no place to procrastination anymore, and maybe I will never find the right time to start doing what I want to do, and to start acting. So these are the top two takeaways that I had from the program.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that with such clarity and conviction and confidence. Thank you so much, Iman. And
Thank you.
yeah, I totally hear you on the procrastination. The best time to do anything is now. To start is
Exactly.
now, right? So yeah, yeah. And I know that I also heard great feedback from both Sudha and Madhav with your partnership. So it was a three-way partnership, and in class of 2022, each of you were partnered with two mentors. Um, how was that experience, by the way, of being partnered with two mentors?
Yeah, the
Ima-
question is to me. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful because you have more time and you have the chance to get more mentorship sessions. So each 2 weeks, I can book like 1 hour either with Madav or with Suda. And what I was doing is that for each mentor, I was focusing on a goal. So for
Hmm.
Madab, I was more focusing on everything related to the public speaking. With Suda, it was another topic. So it was fantastic.
Hmm.
A great idea, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. This is, these are like the results of the experiment for us to figure out whether you want to do this the same way again next year. And Madhav and Subha, since you mentioned, uh, I think it was Madhav, I don't know, one of you said it was two-way, right? The learning. Madhav, you were saying that.
Madam, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to ask you both, what did you learn about yourself? And I'll start with Subha.
Definitely, Meenakshi. See, whenever we are giving, right? If we look at it from the way of giving, right? So there is something that we are taking back. Whenever
Hmm.
we are taking, we are giving something back. See, this is how I am looking at any experience that we have in our life, in general, right? Philosophically, if you look at it, um, here, if you specifically ask me, right? Looking at the mentee going through certain journey, right, and then keeping up with your patient's level, right, because your speed could be more than that mentee or lesser than the mentee, right? It is going to be completely different. My personality is different, my style is different, and you know having the connection with that mentee with a different personality, right? And then it's not only about patience, having the patience during the session, and then after that following it up with following it up in the sense, when the mentee commits to some action, right?
Hmm.
Says next time when you meet, maybe that action is not being taken, right?
Hmm.
So it's very, very important that I don't get into the judgmental mode, because the time when we were having this, the entire program was really challenging because it was happening during COVID, right? Still, we had the symptoms of, glimpses of virus here and there in different forms, right? So the way I was able to be there for my mentee empathetically, yeah, without judging her in any way, not even a single time. Of course, me being a coach, especially that ICF coach, that is helping me a lot. I must give credit to that journey, my ICF learning journey. And beyond that, end of the day, I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Right, so it's easy for me to get into some judgmental mode. Why did she invest in this process, her time as well, I'm spending my time or investing my time. It's easy for me to get into that mode, but not even a single second I got into any of such negative mode,
Hmm.
right? So, which is like a kind of a validation to who I am, right? Or
Hmm.
the journey that I'm traveling today. It's a
Yeah.
huge validation for myself, which is happening within me. It's not like I was looking for validation somewhere else,
Yes.
right? This is like a
Yes.
huge, huge thing. And then, of course, patience has been, seen as my, strengths for many years now. Except my parents and my husband and son, everybody will appreciate and then acknowledge that, okay, my patience level is really high. So that also I could see that, I was putting it in place,
Yeah.
using
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, and thank you for sharing with such candor, Subha. And as a fellow ICF certified coach, I totally agree with you. That journey just is so transformational personally. I think it's absolutely elevated the quality of all my interactions and my conversations. Yeah, totally agree with you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Madhav? Other than learning how to juggle,
Yeah. Okay, I mean, like what Subha was saying, it's very simple. I mean, the more we share, the more we gain. I mean, as simple as that.
hmm,
So every experience, every time we share something, because what I have of 2 decades of experience, what I bring. So when I talked to Iman, when I said, okay, this is what we can try, and next time when she comes back and she says, okay, this is what she did. So there was something for me also to take away. It's not only with the mentee, but also in the cohort with all the other mentors. I mean, let's look at the rich experience the different mentors was spread across the world, both culturally or different experiences and their professional journeys. So that was amazing the first side. And also what I found was that the people who have enrolled, I mean, I can talk about the 2 mentees who I have been engaged with so far.
mhm,
They have they possess something what we call the growth mindset. They
hmm,
want to acknowledge the ability that they want to enhance their skill. They're committed, and especially when you work in this where it's a pro bono, so that all of us need to realize that the time is the most important thing. I mean, so that to people of investing is the time, and
yes.
it is invaluable. So there, the commitment level on both the side I've seen it's amazing. So that's one, and definitely yes. I mean, over the this program, what I realized was that I started to listen more. I was just not hearing, so it's like expanding on my horizon on things. So that's been my experience, to be honest.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I could not agree with you more. Um, the richness that we bring as a community, mentors and mentees included, the variety of experience that we have, both personal and professional, and I also wanted to call out here that when I first started this program, for me, there were a few myths that I wanted to, or hypotheses that I wanted to test out or disprove, whichever. One is that mentorship doesn't have to be a hypothesis that I was trying to prove was that mentorship can be um, done successfully outside of organizations as well. It doesn't have to be something that the organizations do within. And the second thing was that it, although typically, you talk about mentors being been there, done that. So you typically try to find someone from the same industry with a similar experience that you want to grow into, that type of thing. That's the other hypothesis I wanted to sort of test out. I mean, is it really that case, or can anyone with a certain amount and breadth and depth of professional experience, can they serve as mentors to someone who wants to uh, get to the next level in their career? So those were a couple of hypotheses that I wanted to test out, and I will say that at least in these 2 cohorts, we've been able to test them out successfully, because most of the mentors, I mean, I do try to match them based on industry and relevant experience, but that's not always the criteria. There's so much else that goes into it. The different nuanced identity, the lived experience, and all of that also counts. So I'm so glad you called that out, and it's absolutely true. And this year, again, we had a cohort of 11 mentors, and each one paired with uh, 2 of them paired with each mentee. 10 mentors who were paired with mentees. And then we also have guest speakers. We had an I Am Remarkable workshop, thanks to Aya. And then those were some of the sessions that we did as part of the program. So as we begin to wrap up this conversation, I want to ask each of you, and I'm going to start with you again, Iman. What is something that you do differently now? 1 or 2 things that you do differently in terms of your career management?
Mm, I do differently. I will say I already talked about the imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
What I do now is I consider myself my own cheerleader. So I more believe in, um, I believe that in my more in myself, and I think that I am my best cheerleader, so the best person to believe in who I am and what I'm capable of. So I'm not waiting for others to say I'm doing things good. Yeah, it's fine to hear some, I mean, this kind of words, but it's not what I'm waiting for. It's more to do what I believe in, and to be more focused on my vision. I already talked about the vision. So before the program, I was more working on multiple tasks, and each time I'm changing my mind. Today I'm more focused on only one vision. I know where I want to go, and I'm starting to put in place all the materials that can help me to reach what I want. So I will say it's more the focus, and to not wait for others to say that I'm doing it good or not, and to all the time keep in front of my eyes, my vision, and where I wanna go.
That's just fantastic. And I loved hearing you say that
Thank you.
you are your best cheerleader.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Um, what does that bring up for you, Madhav and Subha?
So you can take it up. Start.
Okay. Sure. See, this is something which is coming up to me right now. I mean, actually, see, this Ubuntu principle, right? I'm a firm believer of that. I am because we are, right?
Mm,
Not only now whatever the discussion that we are having, right? The connections happened few months ago.
mm,
During that time, from that first day till today, right? If I look back, it's been a beautiful journey that I would like to cherish forever. One is the mentor-mentee connection, right?
mm,
And then the other network. Now that my LinkedIn profile is rich by 11 more people, right? So that means we do not know where we are going to get connected, how we are going to help each other. See, today we don't know, right?
mm.
So that human connect, especially now that we are talking about AI, I think recently I read somewhere that college professor, one robo is conducting some session in one of the colleges here in Bangalore, right?
Oh my
So we do
goodness.
not know where exactly like world is going to go. I think forums like this is going to keep that human to human connect, alive.
Mm,
Is how I'm looking at it. Because without you I'm nobody. Yeah,
mm.
without me nobody is nobody.
Yeah, that was so beautifully said. Thank you, Subha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Meenakshi, on my end, what I see is, I mean, we did this program twice, and look at the mentors. It was like across all the continents, yes, and the spread was all the way from Australia to the other side of USA with all the countries, and so there's so much. I mean, each one of them, what they shared, and you feel they had their own stories. So when you learn the experiences from their stories, and you started, I mean, so I have a lot of interest in operational excellence and transformation journey. So that is my space. So with these things, when you start reading more and then you're trying to connect to see, okay, what are their common areas, what you can take up. So the stories to share on those journeys or something was a takeaway for me. So
Mm,
it was, I mean, for me, it was a personal transformation, to be honest, in this journey.
mm.
Because here you are working with someone with whom all you have invested is committed is the time, and you
Yes.
want that has to deliver a value. I mean, like it makes a difference for someone. So I mean, that's where I always feel that like quite blessed that to have such experiences.
That was so profound, Mother. Thank you. And it reminded me that again, yeah. And and to do this virtually, we all make these commitments and we show up when we say we will, and we create so much value, and we're co-creating it really, and the impact that we're creating for each other. Um, Thank you so much. And before we wind up, Iman, I know you're up to a lot of wonderful things. Would you mind sharing what you've been up to?
Yes, absolutely. So, actually, when I started the first mentorship session with Madav, I shared with him what I want to do, especially regarding the public speaking and so on. So, as I said before, what I learned is to stop the procrastination and to start doing things. So just after I think the second session, I subscribed to professional public session program that I'm still working on, and this was the first step. Also, I started my MBA, and it was just with the start of the program. So I'm working more now on the public speaking side, as I said, in a professional within professionals, and at the same time I'm working and studying for to get my MBA. So that's what I'm working on, what I'm focusing on this period. So it will be for the next 6 months. It will be more about this.
That's fantastic. And I love that strong bias for action, right? The goals that you put down and you
Yeah,
started working towards them. And
absolutely.
so uh, that speaks to the success of your partnership with Madhav and Sudha. So thank you for sharing that. All right.
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead. Are you going to say something?
No, I
Okay.
said thank you.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. And as we begin to wrap up, I just want to say that this cohort, we had five participants, five mentees, and this was the most diverse cohort we had had. We have folks from the U.S., India, Morocco, and Brazil. And between the five, I think there's as many languages spoken as well. And so it was absolutely fantastic. So that's the other piece of the program. It is meant for, and I missed saying that earlier. It's intended for mid-career women in tech who also speak English as an additional language, and so that's also the focus area for this. And so to meet those criteria and come up with such a wonderful group that created so much of impact for themselves individually and also for the whole community as a whole is such a it's so rewarding. And I consider it my honor and privilege to be able to do this work through NorthStar Solutions and Services. So this is absolutely incredible. Madhav, Subha, final words before we pack up.
Yeah, I mean, actually, see, there's something that I would like to acknowledge here. See, of course, you had created this, you had, beautifully built the process in place, right from, having a drive where you save, multiple stuff and then giving people access. There are so many things beautifully you had created. But beyond everything, there is one thing that I'm taking away personally from you
Mm-hmm.
is to trust the process.
Mm.
I feel like you trusting this process is the reason why it is successful every year,
Mm. Mm.
right? We can build something, 100 things can go here and there, but you just trusted the process. You gave each one of us the right space. That's something that I must acknowledge here.
Mm. Thank you for saying that. I hadn't thought of that at all. So that you're a darn good coach, evoking awareness and all that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, absolutely. I think intention trumps everything, and if we the what we come with and what we bring to the table, that we're all energy beings, and I totally believe in that. And so that's why I think these things, regardless of us being remote and whatnot, they still are successful. And I'm a community builder at heart, so this just feeds my purpose of doing that. So absolutely, thank you all so much. Madhav, anything before we leave for the day?
No, I think Subha rightly said, David, the trust and the whole thing was like being open to this whole program. I mean, it was not coming with any baggage. I mean, like not coming with any predefined notion what it will be, what it can translate to. So the journey, it was evolving as we move. So like first of all, you never knew. I mean, I never knew Iman. I mean, like the first time I
Yes.
interacted, and like the way she said she was France, she was in France, then she was Morocco, and then I like with a baby, and then she wanted to do all these programs. So it made me personally for me also like, no, when she can do it, why cannot? I mean, there's certain things I was also procrastinating, I would be honest. And then I said, yeah, come on, you are trying to be a mentor to somebody, and your mentee is able to do some wonderful things. So
Yes.
pull up your stocks. I think don't give any excuses now. So
Absolutely, and you know how timely and relevant that you said that, you know, in the context of International Women's Day, as we are thinking about equity, and also particularly in the digital space, in the technology space, and that we're talking about this. It's so timely and relevant. So thank you for sharing that. And before I close for today, one thing I want to thank everyone that's watching us live and that'll watch the recording. Any questions, comments, we would all love to hear from you. Connect with us on LinkedIn, and we'll add some links to the show notes. And before we close, I wanted to take a moment to congratulate the class of 2022, Nima Bansal from India, Iman, who's with us here from Morocco, Natalia from the US, Gabriela from Panama and Brazil, and Minal from the US. And I wanted to say a huge thank you to the team of mentors and guest speakers, Sudha Krishnan from India, Neeraj Swar from India, Lakshmi Ramaseshan here in the US, Madhav, who's with us here, Yogesh Verma from the US, David Makani from the US, Avinash Chimote from India, Subha, who's here with us, also from India, Selvi Alfar from the US. These are all our mentors. And the guest speakers, Tiffany Castaño, my dear friend and collaborator, Akua, who did our I'm Remarkable workshop, and Tiffany spoke to us about diversity, equity, inclusion at work. So this is the village that made it all possible. So deep gratitude to all of you, and thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to the class of 2023. So stay tuned. The program runs from August to October. I try to sync it with August is NorthStar's birthday month, so I try to sync it with that in celebration of that. So once again, congratulations to you, Iman and
Thank
Madhav.
you, Meenakshi.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Certainly, my pleasure. And Madhav and Subha, thank you so much for being a part of this. Madhav, you've already signed off for year 3. Subha, I'm coming after you.
Absolutely. Yeah, looking forward actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you
meet
also.
Meenakshi.
Yes. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person too.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
let's make it happen. All right. That's
Thank
a
you.
wrap, people. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at the NorthStar Cafe. See you in a couple of weeks. Thank you. And take care.
Thanks a
Be
lot.
Thank
well.
you. Bye
Bye.
bye.